So the next James Bond, Aaron Taylor-Johnson? Maybe. The rumours were true. He actually has met with producers. Now this is a very interesting turn of events because I did a report on this. And I was like, look, you know, it comes from a very unreliable source because it did at the time. And I thought to myself, look, as a thought experiment, let's explore the possibility of Aaron Taylor-Johnson as a James Bond type. And I really liked the idea when I started to break it down and think about it. Now, ordinarily, I'd be like you, sat there going, what are you talking about, H? You're talking utter shite. What a terrible pick for James Bond. However, that's because I watched, I watched Bullet Train. And I really liked him in Bullet Train. I think he had a sort of a suave sassiness to him. And I think the action that he did in Bullet Train was great. That, to me, was what I would consider his audition for James Bond to be, at least from a fan casting perspective. So again, I agree with you ordinarily, or I would have ordinarily, but Bullet Train, I really liked him in Bullet Train. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it, because it's a fun film. I really like Bullet Train. It's not absolutely incredible, but it was a good, fun popcorn flick. And a film that, you know, I don't regret watching even remotely. And so again, Aaron Taylor-Johnson has actually met with the producers of James Bond, the Broccoli's. So let's take a look at this, ladies and gents. This is huge news. One, because, well, it was bloody right, which is quite shocking. But secondly, because again, I think he'd make a bloody good James Bond. So there's a huge amount of intrigue surrounding who will ultimately be chosen to play the next James Bond, with many fans concerned that their top picks, Henry Cavill, Idris Elba and Jamie Dornan, for example, will be aged out, which is true. And there was even some initial reports yesterday of another individual meeting to play James Bond. Someone I'd never even heard of at all, even remotely. I'm trying to find the report here. It was an odd pick. Someone I'm like, yeah, here we go. Scream Queen star Lucien Laviscount, said to be among those eyed to replace Daniel Craig as James Bond. I mean, I think this is a terrible pick, personally. Awful. No, basically, no. I'm not keen on that. But this is an insider telling Mail Online, so probably not a good source. But this insider tells the Mail Online that Lucien ticks all of the boxes. He's a super talented actor, is extremely handsome, and in the past 18 months has won lots of new fans since he joined Emily in Paris. Bond bosses are already saying how you can see him in the 007 tuxedo, how dapper and fitting the role he will look. But there is a sticking point, and that is Big Brother. Lucien appeared on the show at a time when his acting career was not as high profile as it is now, but he was very popular then and has a fan base now which stretches generations. That is a dream for Barbara, who's very taken with him, apparently. So this was, again, there's loads of names floating around. I don't think he fits the bill of a James Bond at all, quite frankly. But I do, like I said, I do actually think, I genuinely do think that Aaron Taylor-Johnson does fit it. Genuinely. So let's take a look. You know, last year, producers Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson recently said that they were looking to find an actor who will commit to the role for the long haul. The latter later followed up by making it clear that while they're not planning to cast a considerably younger actor as Daniel Craig's replacement, they do want someone who will play this character for the long haul. So they have to be in it for, you know, a while. Someone who was said to be perfect age at 32 is Kick-Ass, Avengers, Age of Ultron and Bullet Train star Aaron Taylor-Johnson. And now we get confirmation from Matthew Belloni of Puck, who is a known insider and has leaked quite a lot of stuff. You know, he left, I think it was the Hollywood Reporter, if I remember rightly, because of obviously what they were turning into, and he wasn't able to actually leak stuff properly. He wasn't actually able to do his job as a journalist, you know, learning stuff, talking about it, and disseminating information. But he's obviously started a new thing called Puck, which is his own, well, it's his own sort of subscriber-based article network. So according to Matthew Belloni of Puck, the Aaron Taylor-Johnson rumours are true. He sat with producer Barbara Broccoli and the meeting went well, per sources. They said it went very well. In fact, he was top runner. And he did a test screening as well, apparently. But while Taylor Johnson fits the bill, great actor, British, fits the younger direction that the Broccoli's want to go, accomplished but not particularly famous, he's about to be a much bigger star, and this is where I fall about laughing, if Sony's Spider-Man spin-off Kraven the Hunter goes well, or Universal's Ryan Gosling two-hander The Fall Guy works. Taylor Johnson might end up, ironically, too famous to take on Bond. I actually don't think he will. I think the issue with Aaron Taylor Johnson is he is a good actor and he's always done well, right? He floats around, he does very, very, very good in the roles that he's in. But he's not huge, it's not someone that you just think of, go, Aaron Taylor Johnson. No one really cares about him until you watch him in a movie and you go, oh yeah, he's a good actor. He's one of these people that's a bit of a chameleon. He drops in and out of roles and you go, oh yeah, he's good. I remember him. But he doesn't immediately jump to mind. So I actually don't think this is the case. I don't think he will ever become too famous to take on Bond. He doesn't have the quintessential Hollywood look. And I think that's a good thing. I think that works massively in his favour. I also don't think Kraven the Hunter is going to be a massive success. Sony just, I don't know what they're doing. I want Kraven to be good, but a huge success? No, I don't. Come on now. What are you high, Baloney? Matthew Baloney? Are you high? What's going on here? So yeah, I can't imagine it. I just can't see Kraven the Hunter being the reason why he doesn't get James Bond. But it's good to see that the rumours were indeed true. And, if it had to be between Taylor Johnson or, this individual, Lucian Laviscount, give me Aaron Taylor Johnson all day, every day. He's a much better actor. And I think because of his chameleon-like nature, someone who just is good, but not immediately jumps to mind, he's not larger than life for the role. Daniel Craig was a pretty decent actor. I really liked him in Layer Cake, for instance. But again, he's one of those people that just pops up in things. You go, oh yeah, he's good. And then he just sort of flits out and you're like, oh yeah, cool. Much the same way Aaron Taylor Johnson is. So I think Aaron Taylor Johnson works perfectly if that is the format that the Broccoli's are looking to go with. Which, evidently they seem to be. But let me know what you guys think. He was said to be the front runner. Apparently, per sources, the meeting went very well. And all that was true. So I got no reason to doubt the other elements of those reports, which were, he did a test screening, he's the front runner. I think it'd be great. I really like Aaron Taylor Johnson, and if you haven't seen him in Bullet Train, go watch it. It's a good film. Best served with a popcorn and some beers or some mates. It's a good film, but it's not, it's not an Oscar, of course. But let me know what you guys think of this down below. If you've seen him in anything that you think was his audition, maybe for this kind of role, let me know. Fan audition, obviously. But let me know down below. Cheers, guys. Please do hit subscribe to my second channel, Mistakes Reviews, Live Archives. Love to have you there more often. It's where we sort of clip up the Hcast live streams, put them on over there, all the best bits. So, yeah, I'd love to have you there more often. Cheers, guys. Take care.